Alex Answer here. It is January 5th, 2017. We're going to talk about the situation that a lot of humans on the planet find themselves in. One in which quite a few women have replaced men with technology, or have used technology to replace men, or are using technology to be the interface. There are pluses and minuses to technology. Let's look honestly in this video at where it has helped and where it has hindered. It obviously helps when we're able to share messages instantaneously. It helps in many other ways. At the same time, especially in my generation, I'm almost 37, by the way, born in 1980. So I was 20 in 2000. And I came up during the generation of cell phones. Now, prior to the cell phones and prior to the internet, my childhood was turbulent because there was a lot of moving around. That's its own story. But by the time I became an adult and was already in the fast-paced lifestyle, living in Portland, going from job to job and running from place to place, trying to find myself and find someone in the modern Green Babylon. So in my generation, I've been able to see the encroachment of it more than some of you that are older than I. And I think those of you that are older women, you understand. Some of you understand. And then some of you that are older women are acting like you don't understand. When you yourself came from a generation, the 1970s, 1980s, to where most of the music was loving music or about romance. Of course, the 1980s came in, a lot of codependence. It was a different time than the current time. And also, I've mentioned in past videos, my father from the Middle East came during a time in which his country was not viewed as the ultimate enemy of the world. So I've also had the experience of being what some people call white genocide, while people make up lies and say that liberal women are going Muslim or brown. For a number of different reasons, I've spent most of my life alone. And in recent years, I've chosen to do that. And I don't let technology, even though I have access to technology. Here's my computer right here. And it is where I do my work and I upload my videos using this computer. And I do talk to people back and forth. I certainly don't use technology to find romance, at least anymore. And the reason why is because I've seen the effects of that. And I can say that in my experience, especially meeting people online several years ago, when people are able to literally go from person to person because the technology allows it, there is that contributing factor. It's now easier than ever for people to use people with technology, for people to play other people. I've said before, I found it offensive that I've grown up in a generation where there are books actually trying to convince the man to play the game, or how to be a player, So if we talk about relationships in general, it's a much larger conversation, but one of my more popular topics on this channel. But I think that women should really take to heart some things that are being discussed, especially when I do so out of love. And I'm not speaking of women in the same way others are. And I'll be attacked by other men and trolled by other men in MGTOW that will call me names that don't even know that I'm coming from a more Gnostic philosophical perspective. Has our technology surpassed our humanity? Yes or no? I don't think it's healthy for staring at that Facebook monitor and staring at that text chat and that Skype chat for that to be the replacement. I've always felt it's a stepping stone to something else. In other videos, I talk about the white genocide hysteria, and there's other things that have really put a damper on what you would call romance in today's day and age. And in a day and age, still, in general, a lot of women want to be approached. And a lot of them don't really look at those contributing factors as to why some men are opting out. It's not about fear. Some people are getting burned at an abnormally high rate. And part of the burning process at times comes from technology. And there's a lot of different things that I could discuss in this video. I'm just touching on the most significant things that I've noticed. I've also noticed cruelty from other people when I bring up these issues, certain women. And if this is something that's making you angry all of a sudden, it probably is an issue that relates. Linda West, YouTuber Morning Mayan, sure opened up a can of worms when I put another video out when technology replaces our relationships. And I think, play the nice guy. Don't put women when women replace men with technology. But that's really what this is about, which is why this video is going to recenter specifically on that. Because I've seen the effect of it, because I've lived through it. And it's not just about romance. It could be about family. It could be the story of a mother who leaves her child at his age of 14 or 15 after years of abuse to think that she can maintain a relationship over email or the phone because of this new world that we live in. Ah, yes, this wonderful new age that was promised us. Oh, yes, this is utopia. Yeah, now we can argue over a cell phone. No, that's not going to happen. One of the biggest reasons why I stopped using a cell phone was really bad memories of how my mother spoke to me over the phone, with the same tone as if I was still that little boy, to yell out and use that new age dogma to tell me I, as a male, don't know what she knows. And I've identified that to be something that I call white woman supremacy, and I've seen it in others. I'm really offended when I bring that up, but it's real. It's real. It's very real. And people like Linda West will remind me how real it is. And someone is acting that matter in my view when they walk up to me and be like, your appearance, your ideas, the way you sound, everything where you're from. No, you are not spiritual. You're negative. And that tone. And then cell phones, through the experience of cell phones and dating, the types of games that I've seen people play over text messaging. And not only text messaging on the cell phone, but Facebook as well. I understand that for some reason, women prefer getting attention through that medium. I'm not saying that all, and we're not generalizing all. We talk about majorities, and the majority rules in the real world, in the real matrix, the mob rules. That's democracy. That's the democracy that the bulk of the humans are going with, the mob rule. It's unfortunate. It's how things are. Most women want the men to make the first move. Honey, times have changed. Times have changed big time. Make the first move through what? Oh, I'll text you. I'll email you. We'll go back and forth and we'll do this for a little bit. And we'll use this technological interface. It's like gone are the days of people just meet in a regular place. And with the rape hysteria. Now, I have a couple things to talk about with this. But I want to stay on topic. People are afraid to approach other people because they don't want to be seen as, well, first of all, people want to be rejected to begin with. But to feel like you would be frightening someone, in a rape hysteria culture, or maybe you look Middle Eastern. Gee, I wonder what that's like. And you wouldn't want the woman to go, oh my God, it's one of them. Oh, I heard about that. I don't want, no white genocide. I stay with my own. And yes, when there are periods when there's a lot of pressure towards women to conform, yes, people like myself and others may opt out from approaching women because of the pain that we've gone through. Like, we realize that a certain amount of you have been propagandized by technology to view people that have some genetics from the Middle East as being evil. And the truth is, we talk about the harm and technology replacing our relationships. Women have used technology to tell me that that's not true. But yet no woman or few have shown me throughout my life that it is true. That it is true that I'm accepted like everybody else. That I'm really not so different. Okay, well, am I really the only person that's into some of these ideas? Is it the ideas? So I bring up my own experiences to also further explain that I've seen what technology has done to people, and it's been hard to actually watch where your society is going because it's going in a dangerous direction. What if those cell phones don't work one day and all the good men that you left on the street for dead are living, like me, off the grid on a hill at one of the highest points in a county in Colorado at 7,500 feet? Because we are so sickened by what has become of your society. Don't think there aren't going to be other good men or men of good caliber, men with heart or knowledge or intuition that aren't also going to leave your city. and go their own way because of what they're seeing, this constant yeah, and go from person to person to person, or as I've often said, from cock to cock to cock to cock. I was born into a world where I was told men are pigs. And it was this type of, ooh, and your father comes and we're going to rah. And then all that stuff growing up, only to want to love someone and have that sense of monogamy, to realize that I came up in the generation of polygamy, of women using this and technology to go from man to man to man to man, because they're seeking, what is it that they're seeking? Someone to worship them? And why is it so disgusting when men are activists that are actually standing against the systems of control? Because there's something going on, and this isn't so much blame to any woman, but whatever created us, whatever world we're on, whatever is going on with technology, I'm not seeing the empathy that I would even consider sexy in the average woman. Oh, you don't have feelings for others that are being victimized at the hand of the state? Oh, you worship the state? Oh, you worship the stormtrooper, do you? Oh, you worship the cop? No, I don't hate all cops. It's not about that. I'm not extreme left or right, by the way. I enjoy balance. And I appreciate women with intuition that use technology as a tool. They don't let the technology become this thing to where, oh, now they got another selfie. Now they're getting that energy off Facebook. We talk about Facebook and its influence over human relationships. It directly, with regards to the conversation of technology, has played its role in being how people connect, contact, not just romantic, just in general. Hey, I'm a sending and myself as well. Guilty as charged. Technology replacing our relationships. Difference between myself and a woman, I'm not going to be relying on a cell phone to protect me, to call 911 if there's 5 dudes or a gang trying to bust inside my house. Once they identify there's a hottie white chick inside and shit's going down. So there's a lot of things that I have warned you about that you weren't even prepared to hear about in this video if you're a new viewer. I've warned women about where I see this going, and what if the grid goes down, and we do have a military occupation in the United States, we do have an economic collapse, and you have people that are kidnapping people. Who's going to protect you? Do you really think that those officers, those male officers that look great in uniform, are going to have time to protect you when they're going to be home with their families? They may not even have a paycheck coming in the next week. So you've banked all of this on your micro apartment, and see, please hold back the knee-jerk reaction that I'm somehow trying to enslave you to the world of men. I believe that you have a programming, though, that will act like, oh, it's almost archonic, and we talk about that in my other video series. I bring a Gnostic perspective to this, the archons or the rulers, and I see their influence over mankind and even human relationships. A lot of people, like a hive mind in these major urban environments, not even realizing that all that emotional, that pain, it's energy. And in this world where a lot of you are already open to the concept of supernatural, is it really that far-fetched to consider the fact that a lot of you have been baited into these urban areas, and you have this illusion of safety, your job, enough money to rent something that you'll never actually own, and then you have these little cell phones, which becomes like your partner. It becomes like your educator. And then, of course, there's the fake news that some of you aren't able to differentiate between the real news. Oh, Islamic invasion, they're coming. Oh, my God. Well, maybe it's not so bad that they're overseas. Well, maybe we don't really have to have a heartland stance to the millions dead. And then you just keep looking in. It's like in the old days, maybe we would look into the water. There's a video in Portland where I'm filming a statue of a girl looking into water, and then comparing that to, now looking into the cell phone. Through the constant looking at the cell phone, some sort of hypnosis is taking place. Within the realm or box of digital subliminal, something's going on. I've seen ways in which they attempt to constantly keep men that are on the internet. No, come over here. Look at more pornography. Play more video games. Watch more action movies. Look at this. YouTube. Scary movie. Demons, devils, goblins. And it's like constant bombardment. And then you look at what's come about from some of these men. They're literally like living in these artificial realities. Some of them even have girlfriends. You want to play video games? Yeah, I like video games. Let's get some pizza, play some video games, get some GMO, and yeah, it feels good. Cool. It's like fucking sick Americans breeding and making more like them. When we talk about Americans, by the way, we talk about different races. We don't just talk about Europeans. Even if some people wish it was a more white America. So you have degenerate Americans of all different races and stripes and backgrounds. Their parents came from a country that suffered at one point. They came to America for a better life. They built a better life for their kids, and their kids are just blowing up. You know, they're just sitting there, and it's like, oh my God. Video games, pornography, movies. What else is there? Cell phones. What else is there? There was that little game they were playing recently. There's so many different ways in which technology has replaced our relationships. But with the man, and again, the male is demonized for having the intimate feelings. And it's not all based on sex. There's different ways of having sex. There's animal sex, and then there's lovemaking, and then of course there's kissing, then there's hugging, cuddling. So you have these different levels of physical intimacy. And then there's just, hugging, of course. And of course there's hugging heart to heart. Then there's the opposite way of hugging. For those that never heard of that, there is the way that we're taught to hug, which is the inverted way to hug. So our hearts are not, the chakras are not aligned. I would say the chakras are blocked. Looking at the artificial light. Misunderstandings over Facebook. People blocking each other over strong feelings. I'm just going to touch on this. How do they know that there aren't other things trying to turn them and their partner and their friend apart? Spiritual parasites that want nothing but pain for humanity and pain for that particular human being. There's something else going on. And there's another reason why they have built up this whole technological grid. And by the way, in a recent video I'm talking about the New Age bullshit, how they are preparing people for a grid meltdown, saying that the Anunnaki are now benevolent. They want to help us. They want to correct their wrongs, and they have removed the archons from the planet. So in this world of technology, it has not only replaced relationships, but it's become a brainwashing tool. It's become a brainwashing tool for many women that may have sought out to go on the spiritual path. Now, instead of like a regular conversation with a good male who's grounded, no, it's getting this stuff off the internet, getting this stuff off Facebook, and it being put there to throw them off. So where is society going in the next 5 or 10 years? We read about even a woman marrying her robot. And then we read about this stuff, and then there's the pain that comes about as well from not only that story or other stories, but it's like there's like this, as people read in the media more about these social problems, they're less inclined to want to get involved with anyone at all. And of course, there's some concerns that men have now about getting married and the whole 50-50 thing and things regarding that other men have experienced. I haven't, regarding losing something of yours because of a divorce. Let alone we talk about bringing kids in this world and the heartbreak involved in not only the divorce, but of course the court decisions, the costs involved. It's like a 1-2 punch, and a lot of things are like a 1-2 punch. And also, when you talk about certain things going on in the world that are painful, the 1-2 punch, the second punch, there's so many different ways in which I go through this. But it's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you could get hit and keep moving forward. So I keep moving forward as I talk about this. But the first punch is the thing itself. The second punch is the denial or the anger from the person, the male, the female, whoever it is, saying, we don't like the truth that you're saying. This is offensive. So this woman, Linda West from Morning Mayan, is commenting on the recent video, Technology Replacing Our Relationships, saying we need to be more concerned about white women and Muslims. And that hurt, being that I'm genetically, I am what they call white genocide. The white European mother, origin, Austrian and Welsh. And then, of course, my father from Afghanistan, coming from a country that was stable when he left in '67. His father being a part of the government class, even women going to school. But because of the recent events, I live in a world where I see what technology has done. Not actual Muslims coming up like to these women and beating them up. No. This actual machine, technology, has made them afraid of me in some cases. I know this. I know the subconscious effect of, you live in a certain area like Portland, you see a certain amount of stories of Hispanics or darker skinned males, attempted abduction of young white female over and over and over and over again. I also warn those in the Pacific Northwest and other areas about things getting worse by design. There is this civil war energy. It's really an energy. It really doesn't have a beginning or ending, nor a victor, nor is it really organized. It's unfocused, but that warlike archon energy is there. What do you think that does to relationships? And all this stuff that's going on in technology and people replacing humans with technology, their minds are being filled with not good things and sweet nothings from a partner kissing you in the ear and bringing you a cup of coffee and a soda at the drive-in like the good old days. No, just sitting there on Facebook going from one fake news. Where did romance go? Where is the love? At what point did living in this fear-mongering cyberspace reality become a more preferred thing for women than just being with a man or having friends with some males or a male without having all these expectations that the digital technology and your peer pressure group told you that man had to have, and that he couldn't vote for this person, or he has to be in this box. And see, right now things have gotten sick with technology, because now that technology has replaced our relationships, instead of people go, holy fuck, they're going, holy fuck, the Muslims are taking our women. And the women are going, holy fuck, the Muslims are coming to rape us. And in the meantime, they are not actually addressing the real shit going on. And that would be technology and Facebook and IM and PM and all that bullshit replacing everything. 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 And it's not just like these, it's like through Facebook. Your messages aren't even private on top of it. Not only do you let it replace your relation, you share it with the fucking beast. You share it with the beast. And that also goes for those of you that prefer to only comment on my YouTube channel, but you'll never join the forum. Same thing. These big Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, social media replacement, and then just so much entertainment. And Hulu, you don't have to, we worry about the internet going down. You know what? As we wrap this particular video up, we'll be back with more. I want to share my main points with you. Okay, so there's the danger in women's safety from a variety of things, but especially if the grid goes out and they don't have access to their cell phones or police or protectors. Over a period in time, of course, there will be men and others that will take advantage of a situation, and some women reverting back to straight up prostitution on a more overt than subtle way, which today is a very subtle form of prostitution. We're talking about more overt, like straight out in the open, out of survival, and that's very sad. But if we deal with major power outages caused by solar flares and we are thrust back into nature, there's going to be some bumps along the road. I'll even say cannibalism and human trafficking in some areas. Does humanity have the ability to bounce back from shit that it's already been through? Yes. And those words may bother you, but you know those are both primitive words when everything else is gone and mankind reverts back to trading itself. Cannibalism, human trafficking of the women. No. It's not nails on a chalkboard. This is your history as a human race. This is in us. This is in our past. It's in our soul's history, including the memories of some of our families being murdered in front of our very eyes. Some of us remember this pain. This isn't a joke. We're trying to evolve beyond this matrix because we're tired of this shit. You want to wake up next lifetime like Matrix pulling that thing out of the back of your head? I don't. You want to live in a world where technology replaces our relationships? Do you want the microchip or not? Because if you don't, then why are you taking it in other ways? I'm telling you, boys and girls, something big has been going on this whole time. Now, if we were to have a reset, trust me, it ain't coming from the Anunnaki, it ain't coming from Archangel Michael, it would be coming from the Almighty. And it would be literally a destruction of this Tower of Babel. Spend a few moments on this before I let you go. Can you imagine all the things that will be manifesting? Satellites, dropping out of the sky, instantaneous communication gone. What does that mean? The resources, the value, the people, the things of interest, the entertainment, it's all around us. How do you heal from that anxiety inside your head when you can't get your drugs? Well, it's time to return to nature. If humanity came from nature and we're living in an artificial world now where all this is new, then we will be just fine. We will overcome the starvation. We will overcome the cannibalization. We will overcome the human trafficking. We will develop into groups. We will protect our women. And some of the women will learn how to fight. And they'll learn how to shoot. It won't just be about gardening. It'll be about protecting yourself and your tribe. Some people, their tribe is just based on race. For others, it's based on a good collection of individuals that you know in your neighborhood. And it's through those types of challenges that I think there'll be some healed hearts, especially for many men. But until that day happens, are we going to see a shift in consciousness to where the women go, you know what, we really have caused a certain amount of pain being players in our own right using this. Where's the accountability? Instead, I almost see this type of, the fucking men did it to us. We're going to turn the tables. Now we make the money. We make the pants. It's technology time, baby. It's transhumanism. Yeah, pop that vibrator straight up in the fucking computer. Got an app for that shit. No. This shit shouldn't offend people. People should be looking at this and looking like at warnings from THX 1138, that one particular scene. He gets home from work and he just expects this thing comes down. It's like guac, guac, guac. And he's watching some African, booty dance. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like, what the fuck? And then, like, his female roommate, who also has a shaved head, because they're in this sterilized future and they're under surveillance, like 1984, lovemaking and romance is outlawed by the state. And all this conspiracy stuff that even the women are into in the new age, and you've even cited things like 1984, and you've created this kind of hybrid crossover. Where has the awareness been about where's the love? Where's the appreciation of the sacred masculine? Why are so many good men left out on the street to die by today's women and others? Why are there so many women that are taking offense when they hear about this programming, especially if they see themselves as outside of this? I certainly don't identify with other men. They're involved in wicked things. In fact, I put them down and I shame them because I don't identify with one particular race or religion or sex. Alex Ansary is even a name that was given to me by my parents. I am a spirit that is inhabiting this body. I'm not bound by your silly limitations. So why should you be bound and be offended? Why should you not want to be all the human that you can? Why shouldn't you want to unplug and know who you really are, Sally, Jennifer, to really feel beautiful and in nature and with strong males and not feel so vulnerable and dependent on this grid? Don't you want that? Don't you want to feel something other than being a slave? For if you were to embark on the path of freedom, no harm will come upon you unless you harm others or unless there's a lesson to learn. Fortunately, there's a lot of lessons that I think a lot of humans, a lot of men and women are going to be learning in the coming years. And it's going to manifest in a number of ways. But I'll tell you one of the ways in which it will manifest. Those people that have created negative karma for themselves, that have become dependent on this, that have chosen to remain in dangerous areas, they are the most at risk. They are the most at risk. So you thought you were coming to this channel and just hearing a surface level commentary on technology replacing our humanity. The truth is that the rabbit hole goes much deeper than you think. I'm Alex Ansary. It is January 5th, 2017. Subscribe if you're new, and of course check out my other videos discussing these topics and others. My website, alexansary.tv.